Hello, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to Vibe Time with Geri. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. I'm with my co-host, David Flowers. Say something.
Hey. How's everybody doing?
We are waiting for our special guest, Frank Lazzaro, to come on. He's from New Jersey Rope. So in the meantime, we'll just chit-chat. And y'all can chit-chat with us. Let's see.
Trying to share everything right now.
Yep, there we go. So, how has everybody's week been so far? A lot of people had a nice 3-day weekend.
Yeah, I did. Pretty good.
Let's see, I misspelled Frank's last name. I put Lazzaro. It should be Lazzaro. Sorry about that. I just caught that. Sorry, Frank. That was an accident. My goodness. That's why I wouldn't tag him, because it said Lazzaro. Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, Jody.
Hey, Jody.
Hey, Ronnie. We are waiting for our special guest to come on. There we go.
There
Frank,
he is.
how are you? We are live.
I think I was on the wrong one. I think I was on the other day's invite.
Oh, no.
Why is it not lighting up? And then it occurred to me, she just sent one. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I just sent a new one. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Right.
So here I am late again to the party, right?
That's okay. You were only 1 minute.
Well, I was online. I was like, why are they not letting me in? It's only the host can see it. My screen was like gray. I'm like, there's something not right here. So now we're good.
Oh, no. Yes, we are good. Ronnie asked if you got his email, David Flowers.
I haven't checked my email today.
You're fired.
I know. Let's see here.
So how have you been?
I'm good. Everything's
Since
good.
our last talk. I mean, that's only been a few days ago. I mean,
it's okay. Yeah, nothing's changed in my world since. How about yours?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be all right. No matter.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Y'all, for y'all that don't know, and I accidentally misspelled your name on my Facebook, and I couldn't figure out. I was like, why isn't it tagging them? Well, I spelt it wrong, and it didn't pick up the, you know how it picks up the tag? Well, it didn't pick up the tag, and then I just looked at it, and I was like, really, Frank Lazzaro?
What'd you put? Did you put 1 Z, 2 R's? Is that usually?
I put 2 Z's and an E.
Yeah, that's
like, what? And what did I do that for? So, y'all, this is
1 Z and 2 R thing going on. That's what everybody thinks.
Yeah, I can't believe I messed that up. This is Frank Lazzaro. He is with New Jersey Rope in New Jersey. But what part of New Jersey?
South part of New Jersey.
South part of New Jersey.
We're down near Philadelphia. We're down at we're near the Philadelphia, about 10 miles outside of Philadelphia.
Yeah, because I remember when I went to attend some of y'all's classes that we actually stopped or drove by there, if I remember correctly, when we were working on something.
What, Philadelphia?
Yeah, I remember us driving past it. We went to this one house. I don't remember exactly where it was at because I'm not familiar with it, but yeah, we passed by that.
Many moons ago.
Yes, 2000.
Yeah, Ronnie, I got your email.
Yep, 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And
how long ago it was? 10 years? Wow.
Yeah, it's been a while. That has been a while. Hey, John Stevens.
Hey, John. You mean you've had to put up with her for 10 years?
I guess so, yeah. Yes.
Damn, I've only been putting up with her for 3 years. I'm about to ready to pull my hair out.
Yeah, she's not terrible. You see, I'm up here, you're down there, so it's a little different for you. I can turn her off, just not, not invite her for things I've invited her to.
Yeah, she works for me, so it's kind of hard for me to do that.
Oh yeah, you're the boss?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, I pay her.
You pay her?
I pay her. I can't really say I'm the boss.
It kind of makes you the boss. Even if she doesn't agree.
Yeah, I'm just the wallet.
Yeah, we all have one of those. Yeah. I know I have one too. It doesn't pay me as well as I'm sure you're getting paid though. At least you probably enjoy doing what you're doing. So
Yeah, very much.
I took a management job here in it's a local hospital. I'm regretting every minute of it. You work your entire career to get to that point, and then you finally get there. You're like, damn, why did I do that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing but headaches, nothing but bullshit and headaches, and you know.
Yeah, I just got promoted at my day job 2 months ago, and I'm wondering what the hell did I do?
Yep. Again, I went from having no issues to having 22 directs, and direct, and every one of them has their own personality, and they're all, I love them all. Don't get me wrong, I love them all. They're, great people, but it has its challenges at times. And then I come home and I run this paranormal group, and that's another 30 people that have their own agenda half the time, right? But at least but I figure if I can do a good job keeping a group of 30 people together, then that are volunteering, then I must be able to do something when I can wave a paycheck over someone's head, right?
Yeah.
Big difference, but
that's a lot of people.
So where's our fourth person tonight? Isn't there usually?
We don't know. You're our special guest.
Oh, I don't know how you all. I know you have more than one thing going on then. More than one show.
Yeah, we have Paranormal Roundtable, and we have that the first Tuesday of every month.
That's what I was on last time.
That's what you were on last time. Okay. And then I wanted to bring you back as just you as a special guest to talk about your team, because I know that there's other, and you have to correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not familiar with New Jersey, but I know that there's another few teams out there too somewhere.
Oh yeah, there's several.
I know. So I wanted to be able to spotlight New Jersey Road.
Oh, I appreciate that. Good.
What y'all do, and I know that you offer classes too, that your team does that quite often, talks, and I wanted you to be able to take the opportunity to highlight that, because there's so many people out here now that are experiencing paranormal, at least where we're at, and they want to know more about it and they want more education about it. And I feel as investigators, that's our job to do that, to help people have a better understanding of what paranormal is. And it's always nice to have other teams too from other states, and I know that y'all are really educational when it comes to things.
A little bit over times.
So
I guess you can't say that. There's never enough education. And it's all subjective. It's all opinions, and nobody wrote the book on this stuff, but lots of books on it, but we don't know which one's correct. Let's put it that way. But if any of them, I think you take a little piece of everything and you kind of figure out the way you want to go with it. But now we do offer. We've changed. It's changed many times, but since day one, we've always had training in a sense where we thought it was important to sort of be on the same page with everybody in the team. And I like to equate the when everybody goes into a location like stormtroopers, everybody sort of knows the same thing, functions the same way, has a I hope our shooting is a little better than theirs is, but no, we're if you notice Star Trek, right? I don't have a Star Wars reference, right? But we do offer our members what we consider to be an opportunity to learn about what we've done and what we believe are the proper, or at least the way we want the group to run. So everybody's on the same page with things. So we do everything from a basic awareness class, which you took and really hasn't evolved much. It evolves a little bit every year. We always change it just subtly, but that we have a full psychic protection class, which probably was 30 pages when you sat down and took it with us, is now 180 some pages worth of yourself. And it's a whole PowerPoint. There's literally that many and there's a shit ton more of them. There's ways you can protect yourself, but we throw it out there for everybody, and it's always about trying to make it see what sticks for you. There's nothing in that PowerPoint that you should do 100%. That's you can take a piece of this and a piece of that, but as long as you're protecting yourself when you're out there doing what we do, that's what we try to emphasize. And then we've incorporated classes on religion. We've incorporated classes on science.
Ryan.
I mean, just basic things is just critical thinking.
Yeah.
You know, being observant of your environment. It's amazing how many classes, how many different exercises there are out there for just general observation exercises. So much so that you're just watching the screen, and you know, there's one in particular that you know that I like to show. It's a it's like it's a bunch of people wearing white outfits or whatever, or black outfits mixed in, and they're just tossing the ball around, tossing the ball around, tossing the ball around, and it goes on for like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, whatever it is. But during the middle of it, there's an animal, like a person dressed as an animal, like a gorilla that walks through the middle. And you'd be amazed how many people at the end of that 3, 4, 5 minute video don't see the gorilla, because your whole point of it was to count how many times the ball is passed or whatever. So you don't focus on that one thing, that one specific change in the environment that a lot of people, you know, that others might. And then once, you know, so they see that this gorilla walks through the middle of the screen, and then you say, who saw the gorilla? And like, there was no damn gorilla. What are you talking about? And then you see this guy standing in the gorilla suit going, oh, right in the middle of the screen. Everybody's passed the ball around him, and he walks off the screen. And it's exercises like that I like to put out there with the group, because one thing I do believe is that, you know, you're a part of your environment. You know, you become a part of that environment. You can't walk in there and you have to acclimate yourself to the environment. You can't expect the environment to acclimate to you.
Right.
So you kind of have to be aware of your surroundings. So we've done other ones where it's just you know, something like a you know, how coincidence sometimes, you know, maybe, you know, people, if you fold a, you know, I think it's the $10 bill a certain way, and you know, it looks like the Twin Towers, right, off of them. And we say, you know, do you believe in coincidence? You know, was it predicted? You know, there's things like that, observation things, or how people perceive things. They might see that, you know, and then that might lead a person off this direction. The other one that we have is like it's a town. It's a bunch of buildings, and the buildings change all around you. And the neat thing about this one was we all watched it at the same time, but and you know, and none of us saw all the things that went on. But when I told the team to focus on different parts of it, you know, focus on, you know, don't you focus on what you wanted, you know, and it ended up being where everybody saw something different. So because we're able to look at the entire video, in a sense, we're able to pick up a lot more changes in what we would perceive as the environment. And they say, you know, you have to incorporate yourself into your environment. You have to be able to observe and look for those subtle things that might give you an idea of what's going on. So
right.
Emphasize that. So we've gotten into, I mean, I've even done architectural classes. Where what was that? I heard them.
Yeah, sorry, the special forces do that same exercise.
It's important.
They do the exact same exercise where they walk a cadet through a certain area, and at the end, the cadet has to write down everything he or she saw.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised how many people don't see the same things, because there's that many things going on in this environment that these videos create. But you know, but I like that. Like I said, I stress that with the group, because each one of us has our own set of eyes, right? And if we're all looking for the same thing, then we're going to miss a lot more of everything else. So we try to emphasize, like, you know, do things a certain way. When we have a certain way of practice, we'll go in and we'll do our sweeps a certain way, or we'll do our, you know, our whatever. We investigate a certain way. Maybe we use like a triangulation method with recorders. We're putting around different areas, and we try to be, so, you know, everybody does the same thing. It's very specific sometimes of how we do things. We're very focused on trying to keep things the same, so that the environment doesn't. It's very hard to control an environment when you're in it. We can't. We don't have that scientific method. We can't have this controlled environment where we're able to, you know, replicate it every time. So we have the best we can. So we try to document all that stuff. We try to keep track of it, you know, and we emphasize those types of classes. So we've done architectural classes. This is another thing I like to stress with the group is, you know, don't walk in and constantly just ask, what's your name? You know, every building you go in has a history. You know, it could be something simple as the door frames to the windows, to the, you know, to the way it looks from the outside, the way, you know, rooms are designed, and so forth and so on. So if you walk into if you know you're walking into a New England style home, or a Georgian colonial, or whatever, or, you know, whatever it be, if you have a basic understanding of how that is, that kind of gives you leading questions, because that dates you to a certain time period. It, that allows you to go in and emphasize, certain time periods, and it allows you to kind of delve into or dive into the actual environment where you're trying to investigate. Instead of walking in there and expecting any kind of spirit to answer you in a 21st century response, here we are, we try to take our step back to the 17th or 18th or 19th century, whatever, in order to, become part of their environment. So I like to emphasize those kind of things. But like I said, the classes we have, that's only to name a few of them. We go through extensive, we do it for all of our members. We actually have like almost like I know it sounds crazy, but like a syllabus where we follow through, and the members are expected to do certain things. They have, we give them exercises they have to do to reinforce what they've learned and so forth. And I think think people get a lot out of it. And I think it gets a lot of respect from the members because they realize how much hard work goes into it, more than just running around a graveyard or going into a home and just taking things for granted. You try to become an investigator. You have to. It's hard. You want to investigate. You really want. I know that sounds maybe redundant, but you try to put basic concepts in people's heads today when you're thinking along the same lines. Especially being a resolutions team, because that's the other side of it. We do have an entire what we call our SRT training, which is to take a step back. Our initial training, used to be an entire weekend, a pack it down your throat kind of thing. But then we stretched it out, and we've done it now. We usually do it over like 3 or 4 month period, but like a Monday night thing or whatever. So it gives the members a chance to digest it. We discuss it. We have, and we do training every single night. Every Monday night we have, except for the last Monday of the month. We literally watch a video. It might be, I just found a bunch of videos from a psychologist, who's, I haven't actually started watching with the group yet, but they're going to be, talking about different mental illnesses and such classes that, this way, you aren't going to assume that something's paranormal, that maybe there's a mental condition behind it, some kind of, that's causing it. So we try to be complete investigators versus your run-of-the-mill, group that is there today and gone tomorrow. They just go in, stir up the shit, and then leave. We try to, and as a resolutions team, like I say, we do, resolution work where that's another 3-4 months worth of training.
You're separating the investigators from the ghost hunters.
I try to. Yeah, we try to do, and clearly define that in our PowerPoint, believe it or not, what ghost hunting is versus ghost investigation. That's exactly what we were just talking about there. So, or I was just talking about. You guys are listening, but no. So we can take pride in that.
Yeah. I tell people, says there's nothing wrong with ghost hunting. Everybody does it.
Absolutely.
But a ghost hunter is not an investigator. And an investigator can be a ghost hunter, but a ghost hunter can't be an investigator.
And that's absolute truth. And that's what I think makes this group. I don't want to make it sound like being cocky about it, but I try to think of it as it puts us a step above. I like to think, because we take so much time to get into our investigators' heads, and that translates into the client as well. Because when you're educated, you feel confident. When you go into a location, you can take that confidence, and you feel comfortable speaking to a client. Make sure they understand what you're trying to get across to them. Educating them the same way, because the knowledge you're being given is information you can give it to a person who's struggling with a haunt. That may be useful for them as well. So we do that. I do a lot of lectures. I do a multitude of lectures every year at libraries. They range from everywhere from 2 to 3 people to 80, 90 people. It's whoever we're lucky to have that particular day show up at wherever we are, and and we give some of these classes, and be surprised the response we get. People are enthusiastic about it, and And a lot of times our lecturers end up becoming something different. And a lot of times they get into those "what's the scariest thing you've ever seen" conversations. And then it sort of takes on its own agenda, the lecture, but or I'll say a lecture that I never really call a lecture. A lecture is not a good term. It's always open conversation with me. Even the classes that we give, it's not me telling you; it's us discussing the things that we should be discussing. Because I learn too. Every time I teach something, or one of my officers teaches something, We've been doing this for years. There's always something new to learn, and it does bring changes to the classes. I mean, if it's a shame I can't bring. I could if I could bring it up on and share a screen with you. I'd be able to show you how many classes our members take, and you'd be amazed at the behind the scenes. I mean, I think we have probably 25 or so or 30 PowerPoints that we give. Probably I say about 15 or 20 additional written classes that members have done over the years. That we try to get as many of these out there to them as possible, and then we have. Just one page of I went and I grabbed as many PDF files as I could find on the web there, the World Wide Web, and just put them into one folder and said, you know what, there's things in those books, and I'm talking some of these are 300-400 page books that are in PDF form. They're all available to you out there online. Again, it's just someone else's opinion, but say take it off, read about it, find something of interest to you, do a class. Because we all can learn from each other. So all our members do. We have members that step up and do classes just to do a class. And we present that on a Monday night. So we're really proud of it. It's come a long way. It's one thing that we do pride ourselves with is our consistency with this. We like to try and, which it makes us more comfortable with each other. And there's some I think an important part of investigating as well is not so much just education, but it's getting to know each other's personalities. That in itself, right? Because if I'm with Joe Blow on an investigation, I know that individual acts a certain way. Then all of a sudden they're not acting that way anymore. Well, that I have to be aware of that. I got to be able to catch on to that. Right. I got to be able to notice that change. I got especially dealing with a resolution world where things can take a shot at you. That's going to get you in the back of the head when you're not looking. And if you're having a bad day, you might be that person.
Right.
So it's, we really do put a lot of heart, and our SRT classes are strict. I mean, they actually have an entire, I can actually show you this right here. An entire scenario that I wrote. And I can show you, it's like literally, you'll see it or not. I can put it, but it's like an entire scenario. And I know that doesn't make much sense to you, but that are anybody who wants to become an SRT member. I mean, they all go through and they have what we call awareness training. Everybody gets that basic training class, but then we have, in order to become what we call an operator, you go through this 3-4 month training classes that we do, if not longer, as long as it takes. And then we have them go through levels of becoming a tech, where they actually can help make decisions, and it's step by step, and it's 6 months in between. So in order to become a full member of our SRT, you literally got to be doing the work for a good year and a half. So we don't just throw you into a location and say, go chase that spirit out of that building. It's not about chasing; it's about educating the living dead. Sometimes you have to chase. That's always last resort. So, so I don't know. I mean, we hope we're a little different than other ones out there. We try to be. Yeah. That was the long answer to your short question.
Yes. No, it's fine. I was laughing at Copperhead's comment when he put he would have fun with me. I act different every minute.
I can't see the comments. Am I able to see them on here anywhere? Let's see if I comment.
Yes, I smiled at that.
Yeah, okay. If I hit the comment one. Okay. How about that?
Yeah, you can see it down there.
So I'm sorry, guys. I talk a lot.
Yeah, it's fine. Hey, got a question.
Go ahead.
Your team.
Mm-hmm.
I know you do some metaphysical stuff, and I know you do the gadget stuff.
A little bit of both, right?
Are you heavier on metaphysical, heavier on the equipment? About 50-50.
I'd say we're heavier on equipment, and then the metaphysical side of things backs it up. Or we use sometimes you rely on your metaphysical side of things in order to get an idea, and then maybe use that in an investigation. Try and validate that with the scientific stuff, the equipment stuff. So it can go either way, but I prefer to think that we're more of an equipment group than a metaphysical group. I mean, but it is such a large part of what we do, especially for our resolution side of things, because that's more about feeling It's more about sensing things and being able to communicate at a different level to do that. But when we're investigating, you gotta put the equipment out there in order to get the result, right? You can't like I said the last time we spoke, you can't catch the fish and don't put the worm on the hook. So you gotta have that stuff out there in order to catch that opportunity to give them something to interact with. Now you also got to know the limitations of the equipment, though. I mean, because 99.9% of everything we use has that limitation, that you need to be aware of. So that's also part of the education too, is the equipment side of training, a lot of practical training. We're very fortunate to have a couple of our clients that are gracious enough to let us use their homes or their locations to bring our members in to train. So we're familiar with the environment. We can go in and, we know who we're speaking with. We know what we're dealing with. So we're comfortable bringing in, training members to get their first experiences under a somewhat controlled environment. But even that can turn against you at times.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be ready for whatever, and that's how it works. So
we have training house.
I like the equipment. That's why I created NJ Rope. I mean, it was the first group I was with. They wanted more of the metaphysical side, and I'm just not that guy. I don't. First off, I mean, everybody has their gifts to a degree, but I am not going to walk into a room like Geri here and walk in and say there's, a man, and she'll be accurate about it. I'd be just saying there's a man in the corner. I have no freaking way of proving that one way or the other, unless if I have something that helps me to prove that. So I created NJ Rope, with that in mind. When I actually pissed off my former director a little bit when she wanted me to be metaphysical, walk in and say my feelings, and I walked in with a meter. So here you go. She didn't like that very much, but sorry, it's how I do things. I can't. I'm not that person who can walk into a room and sense.
Yeah, but I like to match what I have with equipment.
As that's what you should do.
I love doing that, and I have no problems doing it whatsoever.
As long as it works out. I mean, sometimes you get those answers. We've had people, Tina, and Tina, you've met her, you've spoken with her, you've experienced, some stuff with her, and she says some things, at times where I'm like, well, how the hell did you know that? There's no way you would have known that. Nobody knew that. The client was like, their faces drop when you say something that. So, that's real important. And then what's even better is when you actually catch that voice on a recorder that says, now they identify what you said as being, now you've got that piece of evidence that says, this is Uncle John's voice here. And wow, there's no mistaking that. So Uncle John said this, and you may not catch that actual EVP, but you get, something that they know is Uncle John.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating when it happens.
It's a beautiful thing when it happens. I get all.
We had a case just about a little over a month ago where it was we had a family. There were a couple of husband and wife that were experiencing some things in their home, and they were just curious. They wanted to know what was going on. Nothing dangerous by any stretch, but they were noticing things. So we went in and we did our thing, and one thing I like to do on investigations is I use little 5-minute clips in a room, and then we have regular running recorders as well. But those 5-minute clips allow us to do a more or less a little EVP burst session, and then analyze it up, and then we're able to get a real good idea what we're dealing with as we go room to room. And so it's not you're not getting the wait 3 months for us to come back to you with a result. We'll give a report before we leave of exactly what we find and what we feel going on. So anyway, this particular night, we were catching a male voice in the home. And at one point we had gotten a name. This male said the name Rosemary. Just what the hell does that mean? We don't know any Rosemary. There's nobody in the group named Rosemary. I mean, other than our founding member who's no longer active with us. I mean, myself, Mark, and Rosemary were the original people. So her and Mark have long gone from the group. But anyway, we turned to the client and said, got this name Rosemary. Does that mean anything to you? And he said, well, let me call up the previous owner who happened to be a friend of his. And he said, we knew that the husband of the home prior had been deceased, but we didn't know much about his wife. It's just, it was one of those questions like, was she alive or not? She wasn't really in the picture at the time when they bought the house. So anyway, he went and he asked the previous owner, who was a friend of his, and he said, do you know the name of the previous owner's wife? And immediately the guy said Rosemary. So, it was like, so he got this recording of this voice, his name, Rosemary, that meant nothing to us, but meant everything to the previous owner who knew it. And so we were able to figure out that we probably had the deceased previous owner in the home, who was looking for his wife, Rosemary, who coincidentally was still alive. So it's just a strange, so little things like that, that make you feel good, because, that gave the people we were working with, the homeowners, now they knew who they were working with. Now they knew who was there. There's nothing to be scared of at that point.
Right.
And you just set the rules and you coexist, which is what they chose to do, which is the proper way to go about it. I mean, if you can assist them, you assist them. If you can't, then we'll always give the opportunity to leave. But that situation worked out where they're able to coexist peacefully now, and just set the rules. No bathroom, no bedroom, the usual rules.
Yeah. Copperhead said, I buy equipment and use my dowsing rods and my old trusty Olympus recorder I have had for probably 15 years.
Yeah, Olympus. I tell you, Olympus recorders are the best. And I have Zoom. I have Tascam. I have the old RCA recorders. I'm like, back got them at Kmart when I saw they were still open, right? And I have several Olympus recorders. But interesting thing is I think I mentioned this to you guys last time we spoke, was one of our he's a member who lives in Florida. He long distance person that we have with us. He actually tested our recorders with frequency and determined that the Olympus recorders actually heard in lowest into the infrasound. They're able to pick up a much deeper into the infrasound than some of the higher end recorders. So if you have an Olympus recorder, that's probably a good thing for you. You're going to hopefully catch those voices in that lower infrasound that you're not going to catch.
I do have Olympus. It's one of my favorites. Haunted MD, who's out of Charlottesville, he swears by his Olympus too. I like the way it's set up, and I like how it just plugs right into your computer. Yeah, I got the one where it's with the where it plugs right in. Yeah, love it. It's expensive. Or the one I got was, I don't know, maybe $60-some, but it was worth the amount of money I paid for it.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're good. I mean, I like the Zoom. The Zoom H4s were second at the time with respect to being able to hear into that infrasound. But we tested frequencies.
Hey there, Dan.
Yeah, we have people that come in the chat. So say hi to them as they're coming in. So if you're talking and you hear us say, "Hey, Dan," we're saying hi to the people as they're coming into the chat room.
Well, hello, Mary Ann's on here. Yeah. I know Mary Ann as well. Yep. So we did test frequency, and we've actually worked with it where we ran frequency generators in homes to actually test different levels that maybe our ears wouldn't hear, but the recorder would. And we wanted to see if there was a way we could identify if certain frequency was one that these spirits might use to transmit, to carry their voice across. So we were able to not really to identify that, but we did notice that we do think that the lower range is where you catch these things. And it's interesting because we've all when you're dealing with like frequency, as you all know, and the older you get, the harder it is to hear. So young kids, it makes sense. You get my kids are hearing that low level dog whistle squeak, or to me I lose it 16, 17, 18,000 hertz versus they might hear it at 19 or 20,000 hertz still, and hurts their ears, but they still can hear it. So kind of explains maybe why young children can hear things that we can't.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And
then recorders are designed to hear that range, so we're able to pick up those voices that these children are hearing. So it's good coordinating.
Mm-hmm. Copperhead said, I never got as much with any other recorder. I have a Tascam Tascam D07. I believe what it is, it's good, but not near what the Olympus is. I think I gave $35 for it back then.
That was about right. It was all I paid for mine. Yeah.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah, I've got a few.
Yeah.
And I mean, I find that the Olympus works the best.
Yeah. I've got a Tascam, and then I use my body camera. I love my body camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice. If, hopefully you can see what you're seeing on it.
Excuse me.
Hopefully you're able to see and catch the things that you're seeing with your eyes on it.
Oh yeah, we have. That's the beauty of that one.
Yeah. We tried that. It was hard to find a way to mount. We tried working with cameras like that. Kind of one of those things that came and went for us.
Yeah, we like our body cameras, but we put them on during on our tours, and we find that we pick up things that maybe you didn't hear with the naked ear at the time, or because every year we try to come up with a new slideshow of evidence that we've captured throughout the year of the manor house. And we've been very fortunate when we've had those body cameras on to catch a couple of things, and they wouldn't have been caught if the body cameras weren't on.
That's
so
great.
It's really cool.
It's hard to have that camera in the right spot at the right time. You think you've got it.
We happened to do that. We happened to do it, and it was really cool. Mm-hmm. So, and we have that on our slideshow. I didn't use the glow in the dark ball with awesome results yet again on the 4th floor at Tala. That's where Copperhead Greg, that's where he does his tours out there. Or investigations or tours So we got this glow in the dark dog ball because we wanted to see what results we might get at the manor house, but we didn't get anything with it yet, but they may not be familiar with it either. So we're always looking for different trigger objects when we're doing our tour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. I mean, like you say, you can't catch the evidence or have something happen if you don't put something out there. So, I mean, I've done investigations that with just recorders and I'm perfectly satisfied with that. I mean, as I've gotten through, I've been doing this for a long time. It's been, 15 years for myself now, and like I've said before, I don't know, 1,000 investigations. Who the hell knows? A lot. Okay, whatever it is. I've gotten to the point where I don't mind sitting down with the headphones on, letting the group investigate now. But when I do, usually I just carry a voice recorder. Yeah. Just find that's the easiest. I bought all this stupid equipment, and I wish my bank account had that money in it. But everybody buys stuff. We all go through that, and it's hey, no disrespect. Like I say, you got to have something. But REM pod's a REM pod's a REM pod. I don't care if you. How you present that, still gonna work the same way as the REM pod. Put it in a dog, put it in a cat. Hang it from a ceiling. I don't care. It's still gonna do its thing. So,
right. Now, Marianne Clark said they are more prone to hearing more than we can hear. Also, seeing things. Have something going on at my house. My grandbabies are seeing a little girl. She's around the night, moving stuff in the kitchen, breaking glass was heard, but when I went to go check to see what it was, nothing was broken. It's crazy, but I'm used to it. And then Steve White, good evening. Try wearing headphones when recording EVPs. It lets you hear what the recorder is hearing without doing playbacks. Great validation. He's talking about the Tascam. And then, of course, Gene Wells, Geri Pritchard Reyes, the hostess with the moistness. Thanks, Jane.
Yeah, I did. We did try we did work with the headphones on at one point. And I found that you sort of lose, when you're in your environment, you get that recording, you kind of lose your sense of direction a little bit. You lose a little bit of your senses when you're using your headphone on, because you hear the response, you hear the voice, but you can't tell which direction it's coming from. You kind of, I like to be more immersed into the environment. It didn't work as well for me. Other people, they use it from time to time. So we do short clips now instead of walking around with it all the time. Those little 5-minute clips work wonders for us, just to kind of get a sampling of an environment.
So are you doing a 5-minute clip?
Yeah, we'll do like a 3, 4, or 5 minute clip in a room. You know, there'll be, you know, if a house has 10 rooms in it, then whatever. Okay. Then it'll be 10 5-minute clips. And I'll sit down and analyze those 5-minute clips as the group goes around. So we have a runner who runs the recorder back and forth. We pop it in, analyze the recordings. And then by the end of the night, we have, you know, captured, you know, either they're captured responses or not. I mean, so but it's been, you know, it's a very useful tool because to us, we're usually pretty successful with it. We catch a lot of good responses, and it gives us a chance to get an idea what we're working with. And I say again, being a resolutions team, I like to know what I'm trying to work with versus, you know, versus going in blind from trying to cleanse a house or work with an individual or whatever. Try to validate some of their claims first, or find ways to explain them, whatever. So, you know, like I said, we've had cases where we've done those clips and got menacing responses, which at point in time, you know, resolution, we weren't there to entertain, weren't there to catch that evidence, was find it and do what we need to do. So we ended up catching a couple situations where we got some menacing voices and immediately stopped the investigation and brought our home cleansing stuff, boxes of crap that we my co-director would be pissed by saying that, but she's all that crap takes up half my office back here. But we, you know, but it's all good stuff. You know, we've researched it all and as much as we could, and you know, we put it out there, and it does work. But I don't see no point in continuing the investigation if we're going to. If we want you to know what you're dealing with, not there to entertain. Just move it along.
Right.
You know, it's right. Not, we're there for different. Now, if we're going to come to a place where we're going into, you know, experience the location, then, you know, that's different. I mean, I might not even do clips at that point. I would just walk around with a recorder and play with the equipment and, you know, try to have the experiences everybody claims to have there, validate them or whatever. But yeah, it's good. Works for us.
Yeah. Marion said, I received a rocking chair from an older lady who was in her attic. After the third night, black balls were going through my bedroom walls. My cat was going crazy watching the corner of the walls. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, haven't seen Marianne in a while. We met up at that time at the. How you been? Everything good? You can yes, yay or nay, thumbs up. It's been a while. But yeah, so I don't know. We don't consider ourselves any different than any other group. We just have our style. That's all.
Right. Right.
Makes us, you know, who we are. And it worked for a long time for us. You know, we tend to stay the course. We change. You know, we don't fix it if it's not broken.
Right. And how long has your team been established?
2009.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people come and go through the years.
Mm-hmm.
We've had we usually run around 25 to 30 members. So we have 4 squads, and we're able to send out 4. Literally have enough gear for technically for 3 full investigations. We could send out 3 different directions at the same time, but we used to do that in the beginning. That was a lot of work. So now we try to keep it realistic. Now we're all getting old.
Now with y'all squads, when you talk about 4 squads, that's in 4 different areas, correct?
Yeah, they used to be by region, but it was hard to maintain that because you couldn't get members from every region per se. So, and we mainly maintain the southern part of the state. We're not really. We go up to North Jersey. We'll come down to Virginia, as you've done in the past. We'll go out to Pennsylvania, whatever. We'll travel 2.5, 3 hours, whatever. We'll go further for investigation just for fun. We went out to the Ohio State Reformatory, so it was like an 8-hour ride for us. We've got the Conjuring House lined up to go out and do a fun one there for an overnight. So we'll do those kind of events as well. But so we're always looking for a place to investigate. But generally, we have the 4 squads where they rotate around, so gives everybody on the team an opportunity to investigate. and then we have system where we can, if someone can't make, we have alternates, and it's it's been well thought out throughout the years. It's we've worked out a lot of bugs, so it worked for us, and we maintain around 25, 30 members, active members.
Right. And y'all still have your website, NewJerseyRope.com or NJRope.com, where if a person wants to become a member, they can fill out the application, correct?
Yeah, it's on there. It's on there. Yeah, we have long distance members as well. As you, like yourself, for instance, you're with us, been with us a long time, working
2014,
helping this out in cases and so forth. So we have members in, like, say, Florida, and life members out in Texas, but we don't hear from them anymore. I mean, we've had at one point Las Vegas out in there, Nevada, we had a member out there. I mean, so we do have people that are around. They help us out long distance. They're able to work out, watching video or analyzing audio for us or something. So you can remember our meetings, but it helps every little bit. We take everybody. We're open. It's family here, so everybody has a role if you choose to. So it's
right.
You don't have to necessarily be in the field. We have an entire research team and outreach team, and there's a lot. Or SRT. There's a lot of different sectors of the group. So members aren't just investigators, and they're actually engaged by being involved with other aspects of investigating. Real important. Like research. Our research team is phenomenal. One of our assistant directors heads it up for us, and she just puts together a fantastic report on a location. I mean, you can get so much information from what she puts out there. And, so every investigation we do, her team put together these reports for us. So it gives us a real good baseline information knowledge before we go into a place. And then we have our outreach team. Like I said, they work with our social media and all that stuff. People that's all they do. They're involved. They run our Facebook pages for us, and anything else we do. We're out there helping us set up our events or lectures and so forth. So we're, and they have function. They have a chief involved. The group is broken down, so it has like 3 chiefs, one for NJ Rope itself, and then one for our SRT, and then one for our outreach. And then there's literally assistant directors in all capacities there that are to maintain different sectors and squads and of the group, the NJ Rope side. And you have the SRT has its own hierarchy as well and structure, and then outreach does. And there's different sections of our outreach, as simple as shirt orders to working out logistics on an investigation or an event, or setting up our overnight place that we might go, Ohio State Reformatory trip, for instance. So we've thought out a lot of different things, and the thing about it is it gets everybody involved. This way you're not just waiting, you're involved, you're able to participate in the capacity you want to participate in.
Right.
You're able to contribute in a way that you're comfortable contributing. And we have members that don't get out in the field anymore, that are just happy behind the scenes working on these things, and they're able to, and it's just as important behind the scenes as people that are out there in the
field. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all important. It's managed to carry us a long way, and I can't be more grateful for the members. I mean, it's an amazing group of people. I mean, we say we're family, and everybody says they're family, but I really do feel that way about members of our group. And a lot of them have been with the group for almost as long as it's been around. There's only 1 or 2 that are almost original from the beginning. So,
all right. Maria said a lot going on. Everyone went their own way after Stephen passed away. I miss talking to you. So now I'm probably going to go solo. And then she put she's available. And then Steve White said, do you think it's possible that some spirits possibly have a type of energy that we are unaware of besides electromagnetic energy that goes undetected?
Well, absolutely. Electromagnetic, no, that's just, nobody even knows there's electromagnetic energy. I mean, we just assume that these meters that we're using are, catching spirits, or interacting with spirits. We don't know that. I mean, I think that we don't, like, it's really been I don't think it's completely understood how they continue to exist. We have to, like I said, we have to try a different method. When we use, you use static domes, you use radio, you use, electromagnetic field. I mean, we've tried, you use an infrared, using sound. I mean, whatever. I mean, whatever. With different methods. We don't know. You have to give them something and find it. You get results. If you don't try it out there, you're not going to get anything.
Right.
So, but like I say, you eventually get to a point where, these devices that we use are, not really designed for it. Nobody knows the answers. We just try our best with what we got.
Right. Greg, oh, sorry. I was reading Copperhead's comment, but go ahead.
Yeah. How often do you find that you capture something either on audio or video when none of the gadgets are going off?
More often than not.
Yeah.
More often than not. I mean, 99% of our evidence is voice recorders. Video is, it's difficult to come by, as you know. You got to be facing the right spot at the right time. Mm-hmm. Photographic evidence is the same thing. I mean, it's got to be tapping that camera in the right direction at the same time.
Thank God we're always in the right direction at the manor house, but there's only one direction.
The voice recorder technically hears the whole room, so if someone talks, it picks up. But you catch thousands of EVPs over the years. I mean, God knows. I wish I knew how many we've caught every year. That's one thing I wish I kept track of, is how many did we get responses of. And our evidence is scrutinized. I mean, I'm sure we've missed some. Meaning, maybe something got through that shouldn't have, or you do the best you can do. We do what we can, but we scrutinize our evidence. I mean, in order to get a report, short of it being that 5-minute clip, which is really like you're putting it out there with that, because you don't know if you're catching something. Who knows if that voice you're catching, you think you're hearing, you don't have a chance to really cross-check it or anything. So you really have to be, you have to really be sure about what you're showing these clients when you present those short clips on live investigation. So it is kind of a risk factor there, but when we have an event where we do a recording, we go back and we, our evidence gets analyzed by a member, and then it goes to an assistant director who reanalyzes it and cross checks everything, and then it goes to a chief who again cross checks it with everything, make sure everything double checked, triple checked at that point. Then it goes to our co-director who does it again, and then it comes to me. So by the time it actually gets back to a client, there's been like 5 or 6 people who looked at this evidence and said, we agree with it. So we might start out with what we think is, just to throw a number, 100 EVPs. I mean, you never catch that many, but just to make a simple math, we end up showing them 10. Because we've eliminated that many possibilities. And when in doubt, throw it out. So when we go back to our clients, we do feel pretty confident that we're giving them good evidence, but we're all human. We make mistakes, and hopefully we don't want to put anybody in harm's way while we're making, we've been fortunate. We've been doing, as many investigations as we've done over the years. I feel we've done pretty good,
Thanks, Copperhead, for coming on. I'll read your comments too. Copperhead said he agrees with Frank. I believe that I never get anything on devices and only communicate with his dowsing rods. And then his other comment was, or you forget the damn video recorder when awesome stuff is happening. He's done that.
We've all done that. We've all done
Hopefully
that.
he found it.
Yeah, remember that. Remember, you have that regular digital camera that converts into a video camera too. If you get the right one, so you can just and record something. But we've all had that experience where you just wish you had that recorder running or something. Damn, That's the hardest thing. I have to say, that is the hardest thing for us to get into our heads. That's one thing that we've worked on with the group, and we just can't seem to ever get it right. Is getting those recorders running as soon as you walk. Even during setup, you can catch things. And sometimes you're so involved with things that you forget. And you're like, damn it, we forgot to start the recorder again. So that's as many years I've been doing this. That's one thing I wish I can't get that straight.
But, and that's one thing that sold me on the body camera.
Yeah.
You start the body camera up, you just clip it on your pocket and you go. And it does it in 10 minutes, 10-minute files. So you're not sitting there for an hour and a half. You're only sitting there for 10 minutes at a time.
Right.
And with put it on that pocket, you just go ahead and go about your business. If something cool happens, hopefully
you at least hear it. You know,
yeah.
right? So yeah,
we've gotten good stuff just hearing it. And when I'm at the manor house, a lot of times I'm afraid to take it off because of what happens when I have taken it off. And there's been times I've had it on and we've caught a heavy breath, you know, a disembodied heavy breath that both of us heard. Mm-hmm. And I went up to set up equipment and got heavy boot steps. Not only that, with an echo and a, you know, it was all in there. And had I not been wearing the body camera, we would have not caught that. And I mean, it's loud and clear that somebody steps in behind me. And there's carpet there or a rug there, so you can't. It's weird how. And I still can't wrap my head around it when I listen to it. You hear the heavy boot steps, but it's on a rug. There's a rug there. There's no wooden floor there. It's a freaking rug, you know. And I'm going, wait a minute.
It's a rug in your time.
Yes,
absolutely.
And that is what's so fascinating with it, is that you hear it, and I heard it from where I was at, because all I was doing was setting up a mini body camera. I have a mini Bob Love that you just stick on a fire extinguisher. It's magnetic. And that's what I was setting up. And the cat balls in our round table room were going off. And I was like, why are all three of those going off at the same time? And I went in there to go check. And when I rounded the table, I hear these boot steps, and I'm thinking he's come up the stairs, and it wasn't him.
Yeah, you got
it's amazing.
Got to put it out there. You say, you know, that's we had a case up in New York years and years ago. Back, I wish I probably 15 years ago. One of the claims was and it just made me think when you were saying about, you know, what their existence is at that time. This was more likely residual, based on things, and, you know, what they were experiencing. But it was interesting to hear when I asked them. I said, they were seeing soldiers walking across their basement floor.
Oh, wow.
I said, well, where are you seeing them? Are you seeing them walking on your floor, or are they walking through your floor? And they thought about it, and they said, I see them from like the knees up. Because what happened was they built on top of where they were. So it was residual energy. In my opinion, it was residual energy. They were actually just walking across the room and happened to be walking through the floor. They weren't walking on the same surface as us, so they were at a different level of existence at that point.
Wow.
Does that make sense? And we didn't catch it. But that way they explained it to me, I was, you know, it said it was more likely a residual haunt at that point.
Right.
They're not interacting with your environment. You're interacting with their environment. And you just happen to be experiencing it in your home, which is on their environment.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that heavy boot stuff. We'll have to play it for you one time, because it's fascinating. So, you know, never know what we're going to catch there, and I'm always afraid to take off my body camera because of that. And like if I work by myself there, I definitely put it on as I set up, you know, and take it off when I leave, because you're talking about you're by yourself, and you know that that's an active location. So nothing, everything in there so far, I've been there 3 seasons now, and it's all been harmless. Every so often we'll get a little asshole in there, but David just moves them on. It's like, get out, you know, we don't want you here. Out you go. And they do, they leave. So
there's that one that punched me in the back of the head.
Yeah, he got punched in the back of the head one night, but he did leave. I think he just got mad, punched you, and left. You know? And I knew that he wasn't bullshitting me, because David is my open-minded skeptic. And I'm going, what?
That's what makes a good team. You got both sides of the spectrum there.
Yeah, I got to have an open mind. To me, you always have to have as long as they're open-minded, because the closed-minded ones, you just can't get anything through no matter what you try.
Yeah, they can keep you honest, though.
Yeah.
You know, so and that's the important thing to realize, that, you know, it takes both sides of the spectrum there to make this successful.
Definitely.
And, you don't get the credit from them. You likely never will.
Right.
Or, you know, I've worked with some skeptics that have actually taught me quite a bit.
Yeah.
And they made you see something from a different perspective that you just didn't think of, maybe, from the one you're working with at that moment. So why don't you think of it this way, or could be this? And you say, you know what, you're right. Maybe I should consider that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something as simple as an EVP, you could have, I had an EVP one time where it said push Frank. I say, and right away I'm like, oh, who wants to push me? That's not, what did I do to you? Kind of thing, And I heard this, and the gentleman was like, well, how do you know it wasn't just saying push Frank out of the way? Not necessarily always negative. You're getting a small little part of a sentence, and you pick up those two words, but the intention wasn't as, so it really made me think, like, you know what, you're correct in saying that, because right away you perceive the negative side of things. When someone sees a dark shadow, they automatically assume it's something bad. No,
right. And it's not. Yeah.
Well, that's not necessarily the case at all. Maybe that's the best it can do to manifest.
Yeah.
So
we have a lot of moving shadow figures on the Manor House property. A lot.
People see negative, they automatically, they assume that is automatically, because it's dark, scary. So,
yeah.
What did I say there?
Frank, can I set you up for the Handoverville Tavern in Bethlehem, PA? I'm going for a visit. They are always up for us to come through. I guess y'all can set that up.
Sure. Sounds good to me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I enjoy it. It's times when I say, why am I still doing this? But it's been a long time. But I keep going because the group, the group, the people that I have worked with a long time, we also have that fire inside of us. It's just sometimes it's difficult, slow down a lot compared to what we did in the beginning. In the beginning, it was like gung ho. We had to get as many cases as we could. We were doing 70, 80 cases a year, which, 60, in a week, that's a lot. You're certain weekends too, two cases a weekend or whatever. So, you figure in the beginning it was all, all the preliminaries and the investigations and the wrap ups and all this stuff. And it was like 3 trips back and forth. I never saw my family. I was like, all the way. So, fortunately, we've slowed down. COVID helped us out a little bit in that respect, slow us down a little bit. but that's one good thing that came out of COVID. We do about 30 to 40 a year, I guess, and we're happy with that. That's enough. I mean, and 30. If I do 30 good cases, or even if I do, 5 good cases in a year, as long as I've helped out 5 different families, or locations, that's really what it's about.
Right.
Like I say, we've done it for so long that some of the stuff we've seen, we do the resolution work. It doesn't always go smoothly, so it's not Hollywood either. But
right. Well, she said she's going to contact you.
Okay.
So she can confirm it. That works.
That works for me.
Well, you guys, time always flies when we're having fun. I can't believe that an hour has passed already. It doesn't even feel like it, but we appreciate it. Yeah, we appreciate Frank coming on, and we appreciate everybody that tunes in to Vibe Time with Geri every week. Next week, I believe, is our Paranormal Roundtable discussion. Frank, I'll just send you a link if you want to join. You're more than welcome to.
Yeah, you know me. You just got to remind me. Make sure you send me that message to remind me.
Yeah, we can do that. I'll be like, Frank, here's the link.
Yeah,
I'll last minute remind you.
I have to tell you, Geri, I thought I was proud of myself. You sent me the link, and I sat here for 10 minutes waiting for you to let me in. I realized it was the wrong damn link that I sent that I clicked on. So I ended up being a minute late anyway. I literally
it's all
I walked into the room, went to the bathroom, got a drink, came in here, sat here staring at the screen, said, let me in eventually. And I realized it was the wrong damn one. So
well, we are glad that you came on anyway. It's always nice talking to you. And I learned so much, even just sitting and listening to you. So
we all learn from each other. We learn from each other. it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Even with everybody putting up their information on the side there, it's
yeah.
Everybody contributes to a conversation. It's never should not be one way. So it's good.
Yeah, and we appreciate our people that come on and watch the show every week. We try to keep it educational, with different teams and just for people to get to know what teams are out there. So we appreciate you guys, and we will see y'all next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we're going to be, I don't know what we'll be talking about on Paranormal Roundtable. We just never know what discussions come up. So we will see y'all then. And David, every time I end the stream, I hit the wrong button. So I'm letting you do that. He's in trouble.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thanks again. I see you.